Saul, you're a great interviewer. Your lead-ins are awesome. So the execution is the next step. So as with any television show, you have to have proof of concept. You can't just go and start shooting 50 seasons and no one wants to watch. So the first proof of concept happened when I went to the ad execs to ask them, is this viable? After that, what happens next is we say, okay, I took the idea to the board of directors, and I also brought in the production company. We showed them the sizzle reel, which they absolutely love. Well, it didn't cost much to shoot that. After that, the board says, okay, well, what we need to do next, and the producers, excuse me, is we need to shoot the pilot episode, proof of concept, and see and prove even to ourselves that we can get this done. Once we have the pilot episode, we tied that to views and feedback. So even on the network, you have a chance to let us know that you like the show. Well, that creates an email that dovetails right back to my board of directors, because I created a reverse call for action. I wasn't going to make it so that Cliff's asking you for $1 million. I'm going to let the consumers tell you that they want that. So we created, everyone that clicks on that email, it creates a reverse call for action that goes to our board of directors so that they can see. And so now, instead of hearing from realtors, my directors are actually getting the holy grail. They're going to see that consumers are saying, we want this show in our metro area and worldwide. And then they can decide how they want to spend their money. And at that point, after they get that, then we talk about shooting the entire season. And we plan it out, we storyboard it, we script it, and we go into production. After the board of directors approves it, which I anticipate will be first thing in January.
Well, so now you've done this, right? So up to this point, so you've got a process that got you to where you are, and you've got a process for moving forward. And as I said, I think that this is really becomes a core service of an association. And other associations are going to want to do this because, it, like you said, this tells the story. This does everything that associations spend all this money on year after year, and they never get any result from it, because we always say, what's our biggest problem? No communication.
Yes.
So what if other associations, they like this idea and they would like to move out on this path? Are you looking to venture with them and to work with them? Because I can see this nationwide, every place, local shows everywhere.
You got it, Saul.
California.
The goal of the Florida Real Estate Network is to produce a cable TV grade production capable of being duplicated anywhere in the United States. So yes, right now our production studios, and I'll go into a little bit about that, our team and our people are ready to go anywhere. After I take care of home first, then we're going to launch out, and we can shoot shows and create this network. The same idea in Chicago, we can duplicate it in California, we can duplicate it in all over the world. So we actually have a subsidiary corporation called OREN, the Orlando Regional Real Estate Network. It's a subsidiary corporation. It's not the Association of Realtors. And the network is a for-profit subsidiary. So it's time to get into business now, which is an entirely new philosophy. We're so busy being not-for-profits that we've forgotten that we're sovereign businesses within our cities and our states, and that we should be acting, and that doing that is in the best interest of our members, because doing that helps keep dues down and keeps our organization profitable. So the for-profit subsidiary corporation is called OREN, and the production TV, the studio, the network, all of those are I should say, arms or outreaches of OREN, and we can go anywhere and shoot television for anyone. So Orlando, we're taking the magic that creates Disney, the magic that creates television, and all those things that America is used to seeing it, and we created our own production entity that can go anywhere, shoot anything, and empower associations of realtors. Listen, the only thing that's going to take back our industry is how well we market ourselves, and getting back in the face and in the trust of the consumer. If you don't get, I'm going to go back to it, Brother Cliff, never let anything come between you and God, because anything that comes between you and God is closer to God than you are, and you don't ever let anything get closer to God. Saul, don't ever let anything come between you and the consumer, because anything that comes between you and the consumer is closer to the consumer than you are, and don't you ever let anything get closer to your consumer than you are. And if any realtor association out there worldwide, if you get this message, give me a call, because it's time for us to take back our industry and go in a new direction by any means necessary.
So I think you're right on, Cliff. And another, just an added touch, it's local.
Yes.
Local. And that's such a critical
Local.
point these days.
And it's local that turns global. So all these local associations have people. If you're in Los Angeles, Atlanta, Miami, New York, people are moving into your community. So all you've got to, if you focus and do your local well, people all over the world are watching. You're giving them the reasons why I should buy in New York, why buy in Manhattan, why move and relocate my company to Lexington, why move to Charleston. You're answering it for them. Just by taking care of home in today's digital age, the entire world is watching. So why are you consistently letting someone else tell your story?
So this is part of your strategy, your outreach strategy, right? And this is part of the vision of your association. You're moving in that direction, and it's unfortunate many associations don't see this, right? They don't see that they need to move in this kind of direction. The people in Orlando, your folks are very lucky, right?
No, Saul, it's me who's lucky to have those folks. When I came to Orlando, I had a group of directors and realtor leaders who were ready to do something different. They knew that they were in the most visited city on earth, but we were highly underachieving, and that it was time for us to take our place among the preeminent organizations in the realtor world. And I also told them, I don't care what other people are doing. I don't care what they're doing in Tampa or Lexington or Jackson, Mississippi. I don't care what they're doing in Chicago or Los Angeles, because we're behind. Why do I care if we're 20 years behind as an industry, what the board next door to me is doing? Don't bring me that anymore. So our directors, our acronym is WOD. What's Aura doing? And that's our hashtag. What are we doing? Not Memphis, not Nashville, not Birmingham, not any of these, because we're behind. Somebody else is telling our story. So why are we competing with people we should be leading? And so, yes, that's the philosophy. It's not cockiness. It's just an acceptance of where you are as an industry and saying, now let's do better. One of my greatest criticisms is, if you've ever pictured a mama bird and a nest of birds, you look at a bird nest and all the little birds are cheep, 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 cheep. They're sitting there and they have their mouths open and they're waiting on mama to go out and kill something, grab a worm or a cricket, and then come and drop that cricket down in their mouth. That's how we are with our national association. You're sovereign individual businesses in independent cities with your own business license, your own charter, your own everything, and you're sitting down waiting on someone to drop something in your mouth. Please help us with the disruptors. Please help us with the aggregators. Please help us with the new business models. Close your mouth, get out and fly. Fly out the freaking nest and build your own nest. If our associations don't adopt that mindset in 2020 moving forward, we won't be here 10 years from now.
But you know what? I agree. I think that associations are at risk. I think MLSs are at risk today. Yes. And I never would have said that before. I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor for over 40 years, right? And I never would have said that, but I'm telling you today, I'm watching all this and I think they're at risk. And what you've got is something that is taking the strengths of the organization.
Yes.
And using them to carve out that spot in the future.
That's it. Saul, that's exactly what I'm doing. Listen, when I say strengths of the organization, remember, that's the people. I'm not going out with our funds and say we need to open jewelry stores. I'm not going out saying, hey, let's invest in car lots or that new Tesla. No, everything we're doing is around the expertise of something we're already doing.
Yeah.
Come on. It's around the expertise of something we're already doing. I'm taking the strengths of my members. When I look at my presidents, my past presidents, my global members, my RPAC guys, and I look at them and I say, I can build a whole business on that. I can tell that story. You mean you did what? You were in the war and you served 30 years in the Navy, and I've got members here. Oh, that's an entirely different story. We can bring the military into this. What do you mean? So you're from Brazil and this is your second language, you overcome that, and now you're a naturalized citizen. I can build a whole story around people from other countries coming, and the community, it's local, will tune into it. Why are we letting somebody else tell our story? So if nothing else happens, we're going to get good over the next 10 years or 5 years or 3 years in Orlando at telling our story.
Yeah, so this is so great because what we see are advertisements about being a realtor, right? there's an attempt, right? There is an attempt. And for years
Mm-hmm.
now, that's all we see. And so now you're talking about, again, critical, taking the
Yeah.
human element, taking the
Yes.
story, and it comes locally, it comes from the local organization, it's of interest to the local community, and that's who you serve. And the idea, and this is something that a lot of us, for some reason, this has gotten lost over the years, every local association is a separate corporate entity.
Yeah.
It's a separate corporate entity. Oh, people say, oh, NAR. Wait a minute. These are all separate corporate. NAR will do this. Wait a minute. These are all separate corporate entities, right?
Listen,